What's going on, you lot? What are you all saying? So we've come to that time of the year again. We're just about to roll over to 2018. So I thought I'd sit down and pick apart my top 4 favourite projects that I've worked on this year and pick them apart. Enjoy. Right, so to kick things off, we're going to start with my job for Matchroom Sport with Brynn Bevin. So Brynn Bevin is an Olympic gymnast from the UK. What a sweet guy, mate. Totally talented and a proper professional. One of the big things for me is making sure that I make my athletes and my actors feel as relaxed and comfortable as possible. This just allows them to really kind of get in the zone and not have to worry about who they're working with. If they're really comfortable with you, that's when you're going to bring out the most in your athletes.
James is pretty eager to have a go, so we're going to cut now to him having a time.
Oh
as
my
well.
God, no way, mate, no way. So as soon as I met Brynn, I really wanted to get him on my level, get him really relaxed and make sure that we're both in this together to make the best possible production. So the reason that I've put this particular production in my top 4 favourite productions for 2017 is because the project just went exactly how I wanted it to go on my storyboard, which in fact I have right here. So before we actually shot the film, I kind of pre-planned the film exactly how I wanted it in my head before we started shooting. Here is the exact storyboard that I used. And I think this was like one of the first films that ever came out exactly how I wanted it to on paper. So for me, it was literally just like, oh, it was like the best feeling ever to see something that I saw in my head come out exactly how I wanted it to. So during the pre-production process, I kind of sat down, picked the song I wanted to use, picked the story I wanted to tell with Brynn, and then started getting some imagery together in my head. Then I wrote down and drew down all of that imagery on the storyboard. So for example, let me quickly take you through a couple of shots on the storyboard. So the very first shot, extreme close-up of the chalky hands swinging legs around the horse. Yeah? See where I'm getting at? Hood up, bag over the shoulder, walking into the gym aggressively, slow motion on the glide cam. Yeah? Low angle, brings his arms up to his hips, breathing heavily, then he walks out of the right hand side of the frame. Brynn walks in from the right, static shot, head down. Static shot of him mounting the horse, wide of him training on the horse. Drone from above coming down. So basically the final product looked exactly how I wanted it to on here, which I was over the bloody moon about, because when you see it in your head and then you write it down and then you actually recreate it with a camera and it comes out even better or just as good as it did in your head, then like, man, it was just gas. So the reason I want my athletes to be as relaxed as possible is at the end of the day when I interview them, I want them to be as open and honest as possible to get the best kind of audio out of them. And if they're not really feeling too comfortable around me, they're not going to give us the best audio back, are they? But yes, without a doubt, the Brynn Bevin project was definitely one of my top 4 projects this year. I just loved shooting it. Brynn was an awesome guy. I think the storytelling, the imagery and the sound all kind of fit together really nicely with that project. So yeah, Brynn, mate, sick filming with you guys. Right, so next up on my top 4 favourite projects for this year was definitely the face of Vietnam. So previously, I went to Vietnam for about 2 months back in 2015, and without a doubt, it's my favourite country I've ever been to. And when I got back, it really kind of stuck in my head. I was like, right, I want to go there and make a sick film about this country. So this film was a personal project of mine that I personally wanted to do. It wasn't a client project, which actually made it even more fun. No pressure at all. Just go out there and get what I want to get. So before I actually headed off to Vietnam, I kind of already knew the story that I wanted to build. I wanted to make a film about the country and more importantly about the people. So to me, the people of Vietnam kind of represented curiosity, friendliness, happiness, freedom. And I really, really wanted to represent that in the way that I shot this film. So let me break this down for you a little bit. If you look at the very first 2 shots of the film, we're flying over the sea and we've got this little geezer in one of these little pontoon boats. And I wanted to shoot this very, very wide and push in on him, kind of showing the vast amount of water and show how isolated he was out in the ocean. Now for me, the fact that these people go out into the sea and like fish like that alone, like if something goes wrong, mate, they're buggered. So for me, that just kind of shows like fearlessness, like hard working and stuff like that, mate. And now also, if you watch these shots here where I'm actually sitting on the back of PJ's motorbike filming with the Xi'an crane, I wanted to capture that kind of curiosity look on the Vietnamese people's faces. Everywhere I went, the people were so friendly and they wanted to just come up to you and chat to you and ask you questions about like what the hell you're doing with like a camera and all this stuff in their like little hamlet village that we went to. So I think that like these passing shots really capture their curiosity and their like wanting to know what is going on and what we were doing. So the first time I went over to like Southeast Asia, I kind of really learnt that as Westerners, we take a lot away from these countries. We kind of go over there, everything's super, super cheap. And we kind of maybe take advantage of the stuff that they have to offer us. So by making this film, I actually wanted to kind of give something back to that country because they're so accommodating when you're there. And that was to make this film, right? There's something just good about making personal projects that are just so satisfying. And this one for me was definitely the most satisfying personal project I've probably ever made. I really wanted to like dive deep into like these little communities that tourists don't usually see when they travel to countries like this. We went out to like this tiny little village that had absolutely no tourists in, and the local people play in the sea at night, and it's just like crazy, crazy to see all of these people super, super happy, see how they literally don't have hardly anything, but still they're super, super happy and they don't really take nothing for granted. It's just wicked to see. And I really wanted to capture that by like the way that I shot this part of the film. So overall, the reason that this project was definitely one of my favourite projects for this year is because the feeling and the vibe of the country that I managed to pull off was exactly what I wanted to show and deliver to the audience. So that is definitely one of the most satisfying projects I've ever done. And that is the reason that it is in my top 4 favourite projects for this year. Next up, we've got the Tutto project that I've done. I've done this project alongside Lee Moore, who is the director of Creative Players. I've done quite a few projects with Lee, but I think that this one is definitely the best one that we've done. Now, the Tutto project, I think, is without a doubt the best piece of storytelling that I've managed to ever do. There's no fancy pieces of equipment. All of it is pretty much handheld other than 1 or 2 little shots. We literally used the A7S II, the Canon 50mm 1.8 and the Canon 10-18 lens.
It's a complex one. Outer confidence fights within a critic. Hero or zero, a fingertip apart.
I did, however, do the very first shot with the drone, and also I used the gimbal once or twice. We shot all of these different scenes all in one day, and there's just something good about working collaboratively with people that are on your same wavelength. The amount of development that me and Lee done in the story for this video really kind of built up this nice dramatic ending that we wanted, and it actually pulled off. And they're so hard to do. These kind of dramatic turning endings are really hard to pull off because you have to kind of build and build and build and build until the end, and that's when the message comes out. And that's kind of what we managed to do in this project, and it was super good to do that. And finally, my favourite project to work on this year was definitely the project with Notion Digital out in Mauritius. Now, let's be honest, it don't sound bad, is it? Travelling out to Mauritius for a week and filming like one of the most beautiful locations in the bloody world. Although I have been super lucky this year to travel loads and loads of different countries for work and shoot in some amazing places. But this project for me was without a doubt my favourite project to work on this year. And the reason this was my favourite project I worked on was just because the experience of shooting this project was amazing. Like, you can't complain, can you? You're in Mauritius, you're staying in like a 5-star hotel, we're shooting bloody seaplanes, we're shooting models on catamarans. There's dolphins. I'm hanging out the back of golf buggies to film supercars. We're flying the drones. Like, what the hell? This is obviously going to be my favourite project I've ever bloody shot. Oh man, Max, chilling. You know, Max is just sorting everything out here. Look at him. I did actually vlog this entire trip, but I did not release a single clip of it. So let me give you a little bit of info there. Right, let's check out my room. How have I got myself this? Jesus Christ. Man, this is good. Oh, this is just a perk. Like, I'm going out to I'm setting up all of my camera gear here, laying it all out. This is going to be my office for the next week. Oh my days, man. Like, so yeah, man, I don't want this to look like I'm boasting about the kind of stuff that I've managed to do here, but this is a lot of hard work that went into this. I don't go out anymore. I work every single day of the week, and this is the kind of stuff that I wanted to eventually do, and now I'm travelling the fucking world making videos for companies like... This is sick. Damn, this is good. Right, I've got to get unpacked, get the drone out, get the drone on charge, got to get both of them batteries on, get the A7S out, get the crane out, get everything out, and then set up, and we're going to get shooting straight away. The weather's good, why waste any time? Just get shooting, man. I just want to get shooting. We're in like the most beautiful environment I've probably ever been in my life. Now we just need to shoot. Let's get everything out.
It's really nice. Remember?
Yeah, exactly.
You are in London.
Yeah.
In your fucking office in Shoreditch.
So this is why I love the f-stop. Yeah, this is why I love the f-stop bag so much. Look, oh, this environment. Zip open, bag on the floor, open and you're set. I'm gonna set up here A7R, A7S2, Phantom 4 Pro, Paco.
Hey man.
Right, let's go and see if we can.
I really like your hat. I'm just gonna go and get another one. Let's get all the hats.
What, this hat? Yeah.
Let's get all those hats. I'm gonna get them all.
Yeah, check out this hat, look. It's more like an umbrella. The only place you can find sand on a bloody beach. I tell you what, I have nightmares trying to fucking get sand in my sandbags at home.
Free as fuck.
You come here and it's all free, innit?
It's free as fuck.
Good man, Max, good man. We need to see how we can mount these GoPros on. So I'm gonna go and speak to the geezer now, and we're gonna mount some GoPros on this cheeky seaplane. Right, we're not looking much like a film crew at the moment, but we're just kind of enjoying. We're just kind of enjoying our driver Sam, who's just blaring music here in this incredible location. Oh man, Max, chilling. You know, Max is just sorting everything out here. Look at him. What a geezer. He's shredded and all.
Right, so I'm just adding a bit of gaffer to the middle marker line of the dome. So when you're underwater,
You'll know where.
you know where to keep your water line, so you know that you've got a 50-50 split. So it's very difficult to keep it otherwise. It's very hard.
So yeah, this definitely was my favourite project I've ever worked on, and I'm not gonna lie, it was bloody hard. It was probably also the toughest project I've ever worked on. We was up before sunrise every single day, and we was in bed by like 12 AM every single night. So we was literally only getting about 5 or 6 hours sleep, but what a bloody project to be working on, mate. So yeah, ultimately the reason this was my favourite project to work on this year is because of the experience I had and the collaborative effort that everyone on that project put together. Working with the Notion team was just incredible, and I think it's super important to enjoy who you're working with. If you don't enjoy who you're working with, there's no point doing it. So I think like the lesson behind this one is the fact that it's so important to kind of take a step back from the work and understand like what you're doing. There was like moments on this Mauritius trip where all of us would kind of like stand back and we were like, whoa, like this is sick. So ultimately, people, you've just got to enjoy what you do. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, man, you're wasting your life, in my opinion. That was a bit deep. So people, they were my 4 favourite projects that I got to work on in 2017. I want you to tell me what your favourite project was that you worked on this year. And that's it people, let's roll over to 2018 and smash it again. Peace.